Hello, everyone. Welcome to another ChitChat, Marketing ChitChat. I'm Laura Greeno, and today we are talking about 12 things that I learned in 2021. So, thank you for being with me all year. This is the first year that I've done Marketing ChitChat. Brandon Utley was with me most of the year. Next year, we'll have random but really great guests for you each Wednesday. So I'm excited about that starting in, I think, January. Is it 5? I'm sorry. January. Let me quick look. Oh, no. Yep, January 5th, 11 a.m. We'll see you then with a special guest. So today I thought I was going to share the 12 digital marketing things that I learned with you today. But as I was looking back at my journal and calendars, I noticed that most of the things I learned were actually pretty personal or kind of personal development wise. And so I thought I'd share those with you. If you really want the 12 things that I've learned for digital marketing, I'm going to give you the most important first. But if you want me to do that in a later episode, I'd be happy to. Just let me know in the comments. Plus, I also want you to tell me what your favorite kind of learnings were for the year in the comments. I would love to hear that. And I think everyone else would too. So thank you for being with me. And here we go. So number one is really, I know this is, so I was always a little poo-poo on, I knew social media made a difference for search engine optimization. It was a part of the mix. Always has been. I don't know if it always will be, but it always has been. But it was such a small part, and I never saw a clear, measurable difference until this year. So I had a small client who did a very basic foundational Facebook posting with some posting the same thing right to Instagram, but mostly Facebook only. They posted like 2 to 3 times a week. It went about 10, 11 months, and they actually got at that 10, 11 month mark. After we've been doing that for that long, he spent about $500 to $800 a month on this. But he got a 300% traffic increase at the end of that, and is still on that same, not the same trajectory, but on that track. And I was really impressed with that and surprised. So I know some of you are going to say you shouldn't be surprised, but if you are a small business who is not doing anything on social media, or maybe you have an account, this could be worth it for you on the search engine optimization side. So that's my number one digital marketing learning for the year. It really did make a difference for a small business who wasn't doing much before and is doing kind of bare minimum. It really made a difference. So we're going to up that in 2022 with some new strategic elements and see where else we can get. So that's number one. So number two, so I'm going to go to my more personal development kind of stuff. Number two is, so red flags. Red flags can sometimes be worth it. In the short term, though, not long term. Say you're working with a client or you have a customer and you start to see red flags. You're like, oh, this isn't going to work. Oh, I don't know. They don't have things together. I don't like this or that. So if you're there to help them, you can actually help them eliminate some of those red flags, right? So, but just know, long term, it's not going to work out. But if you want to, in the short term, and it's worth it to you financially or otherwise valuable, go ahead and work with them because you'll learn something and you can probably make a big difference for them in the short term. Number three, it's so easy to get out of routines. So I have been writing a memoir just for my family, so that I get to tell those stories about some of the things that have happened in my life for my family. It won't be published or anything. But I'm also writing a book on creativity, how to be more creative for innovators and startups and entrepreneurs. And so my goal was to write at least 3 times a week for 90 minutes. The other 2 days for 90 minutes would be something else creative or writing or something core element of me and my trajectory with Web Scout and what I do for a living. Too easy to get out of it, especially when you've got clients looking for your attention, and those clients also mean extra income for you. So my my kind of what I wanted to tell you is it's just so easy, but just go back to it. And I listened on Audible to 3 different books that I thought made a really big difference in how I cannot lose my routine that I know works for me and my family, my health, my business, everything. So the 80-20 principle, awesome book. Eat That Frog, very good. I know a lot of you have heard that already. And The One Thing, look up those 3 books. Very good. If you're having trouble kind of accomplishing the one thing that you want to accomplish, right, in that quarter, in that month, in that year, these books will help you get and stay on track. So that's my number 2. That was my number 3. Sorry. My number 4 is I listened to a book called Storytelling by Matthew Dicks. It was excellent. I didn't think I was going to like it because his voice was a little kind of that brash sort of like New York, New Jersey kind of like at you. So I thought it was going to be too much in my ear. But the content of it was incredible. So much so that if he does a storytelling workshop anywhere in my vicinity, I will take it, no matter what the cost. It was that good. So I want to go back and outline the action items that I can take to make my storytelling better. But one thing I wanted to share with you was, like, when you start the story, you're starting with the change that happened in the story. I thought that was really smart. Of course, like anybody who's been trained that way probably already knows that, but I have not. So just when you're developing, even telling a story, even like sharing information at work, right? A presentation, but especially a story that you have to tell. Start with that transformational moment that happened. When something changed, you changed, something else changed, your thoughts about the world changed, your view of everything changed. So start with that moment and then go back only as far as you have to and make it as short and succinct. You can take things out of the story. You don't have to tell the whole story. You can, but never, if you're really telling a story, never lie or embellish. You can leave things out. You can change things when it's appropriate for the audience, when it's in the audience best interests, like time wise, like, did this happen before that? If it makes more sense in the story for the audience to say this actually happened first, second, third, if you're changing that and it's not accurate, that's actually an okay thing to do to make the story more digestible for your audience. So I thought that was really an awesome book and a really good tip. So number 5, if it seems too good or easy, it just is. I know you guys have already learned this, but somehow, there's always things kind of coming back at you. People, wanting to work with you and saying, oh, it's going to be this and that, and this will be great. Just don't be too, standoffish, or what's the word? Not speculative, but I can't think of the word right now. But don't be too like oh no, I can't think of the word. I think it starts with a P. You guys know it. But skeptical. That's the word I was trying to think of. Starts with, does not have to with a P. It starts with an S, has a P in it. Anyway, skeptical. Don't always be skeptical, but not too skeptical. Just do your due diligence. Do your research. Talk to people before you're working with. Talk to people that have worked with people, partners. This goes with all kinds of things. But so that is number 5. Number 6. So there's a coach I really, really like. I see him on YouTube. He does YouTube videos, and I also get his email, which I get very few emails, and I'm super selective. But his name is Dr. Benjamin Hardy. I see him as a business coach. I see him as a professional, like personal development kind of person. I also see him as sort of motivational. So if you, this is just one of my favorite people. One of the things he always talks about is actually comes from another really smart person, but I'll just share it with you. So the quote that kind of I have that goes along with this thing that I learned, right? Or that we know, but we want to learn like more. We want to like focus on it and take it to the next level, right? So from Ralph Waldo Emerson, there is a quote that he says, once you make a decision, the universe conspires to make it happen. So that's so interesting to me, and I have seen that actually work in my own life. So amazing, right? So when your mind focuses on something, that one thing, right, will grow, will prosper, will improve. It's like wherever you put your attention is what will improve, grow, or change, or do what you want it to do, which I think is kind of fascinating. So I see a lot of things like that in the books that I hear, and like just, reviewing your goals in the morning or reviewing your goals at night or each month, just kind of having that on your mind at all times keeps you in the groove on the way that you want to go and the things that you want to accomplish. So I do like Dr. Benjamin Hardy, and that Ralph Waldo Emerson quote is somewhere in here for you too. But pretty cool. That was my number 6. My number 7, your IP is worth more than you think. You might be willing to let it go because you're like, oh, it's just extra income. But really value it. Even get it valued by someone else, right? It's really anything is only worth what people are willing to pay for it. But just know this is your life's work, and it's not just this one thing. It's the culmination of all of your work, all of your experiences, all of your knowledge, all of your skill, all of your talent. So when someone says, hey, I'd like to buy this from you, how you do this work, make it worth it to you. Or write a book about it and share it with everyone, and then it'll be done. So value your IP. Another 8th thing I learned this year and really last year, kind of combo, is that people, I have a talent for kind of, when I work with someone, they end up asking me to kind of, when we're done with a project or when I'm done kind of mentoring their team or building their marketing team or coaching their junior marketers or, getting the direction set, the plan done, the measurement in place, they usually want to keep me on as a coach, not just on the marketing side, but kind of in the business growth strategy side. So I work with clients. I really only have a couple like this, but it is interesting and it is been my most fun thing to do and the easiest for me, and it seems to be one of the most valuable pieces that I can give them. So I might just work with them for 50 minutes a week and just kind of narrow in on what is happening and help them to clarify and prioritize based on their business growth. This could be about technology, it could be about marketing, it could be about brand strategy, it could be even about operations, their resources, how to deal with this employee or that employee. So I really love doing that, and I've never really marketed that or anything. I don't usually tell people that I can do that but they end up hiring me to do that after we've worked together in marketing. So I'm kind of touching on a lot of aspects of their life and business as a whole. And that's been really fun for me. So I guess that might be a good future kind of retirement thing for me to just do that in my future. So I'm excited about that. Number 9, I learned from one of my clients that I am an Enneagram 7/8. I always thought I was an Enneagram 8. If you guys know what that is, cool. So I guess I'm 7, 8, 3. But I always thought I was an 8. But what she said was, 8s don't smile the way you do. So, and she knows what she's doing. So if you're interested in the Enneagram, look it up. In Charlotte, there's a very special company that does really good things. I don't know if I don't want to ruin her privacy by saying who she is, because I already said she was a client or I've done some work for her. But she's the person in Charlotte to go. If you look up Enneagram Approach or Enneagram Charlotte, you will find her. And she is the real deal. So she taught me that this year. Number 10, of course, you guys already know your family is the most important thing, but I'm not really good about calling people, like especially family members, friends. I'm terrible about it. But I started writing my dad. I love it, and he loves it. Just like 2 or 3 times a month, it could even be just a quick drawing or something. You just send something in the mail, send a card, send a quick paragraph about something you remember from your childhood. They're going to love it, and it's going to keep you thinking about them and them knowing that they're loved. So I might do that for more family members, especially my daughter, potentially in the future. Number 11. I learned that I want to spend more time on these for you. I don't want to spend more time doing them. I want them to actually get shorter. So today I spent about 15-20 minutes working these out, like deciding what to do for you each week. But I do want to spend a little more time in order to make it as short and succinct as possible for you, and some real quick, direct, fast information, usable, actionable information going forward in 2022. So I want to make these better for you. Thank you for coming along with my learning process. And the last thing that I learned this year is really about breathing. This is going to sound strange, but if there's one thing you can do for your health and your family's health, it is to learn to only breathe from your nose. Only breathe in from your nose. Always. So if your mouth drops open at night and you're snoring, or you have sleep apnea, or you have asthma problems or emphysema or any of these things, breathing through your nose can change your life. It can help you sleep better, and it will make you more healthy in so many different ways. It's kind of fascinating. I'm reading a book right now about it, and so I thought I would share that. So those are my 12 things I learned this year. I hope it's been helpful to you. I can't wait to see what you've written back, and I will see you guys in 2022.